Hello, Natalie. I hope you're doing well. Today I have used this device because there is nothing I need to share on the screen. Dr. Mustafa, أهلا وسهلا. How are you, my dear friend? Fine. I hope everyone is doing well and that Natalie is preparing her proposal in the best circumstances possible. Natalie, if there is anything you would like to check with me, and I'm sure Mustafa is doing a great job in that regard, given his competence in the field and given his experience and given the fact that he has helped so many people. I am sure that he can do the job as much as he can do it, if not better, because Mustafa has been with doctoral students for an amount of time, and he has been far closer to them than I am to the doctoral students I have had the cause to maybe be in contact with. فاتين أهلا وسهلا عشوق أهلا وسهلا مرحبا بكم دعاء أهلا وسهلا سي عبد الله. Welcome, my dear friends. Welcome. My apologies for not using the computer. I just don't appreciate the camera there. And anyway, I find it more practical to use this device here, which is the mobile device. But especially that I have nothing to share for the moment, because the main purpose of this meeting today is to discuss the structure of the argumentative essay, thereby expecting the session to be shorter than its predecessor, unless, of course, there are questions and there are topics, there are issues that arise in the midst of our meeting, in the midst of this evening's meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I would like to welcome Si Abdullah, I think I did. Si Hamza, Dua, Ahlan wa sahlan. Rama, Muha, Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan, everyone. 11 people are watching us. Well, we will wait maybe for the others. Today I have decided to delay our meeting on purpose because I had in mind, of course, organizing the meeting at 10 o'clock sharp, but the match, the news of the match, reached me and I had to watch it. And I'm sure we have friends here who are fans of Real Madrid, and this reminded me again of the concept of realia, because I watched the Real Madrid. I watched Real Madrid, so it's that the concept of realia was brought into focus. Anyway, I hope you appreciated the match, for those of you who watched it. And also, this is an occasion to celebrate the victory of the Moroccan team today. It was just an amazing job and very good mastery of football. So it's they are a source of pride, honestly. So there is change in Morocco. We can feel it in number of fields. One of which is the field of sports, of course. So I wish our team all the best. Well, the next steps, inshallah. All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have only 30 people. God knows whether the others are making their way home from the match, or I don't know. Good evening, Asma. Good evening. Nice to have you with us here. Si Ashraf again, Dua. So thank you very much for making it to this live. So we are going to maybe cut this live short, unless there are questions, of course. So I will certainly talk as I promised yesterday. Today we will continue to discuss the okay, let's wait. I think more people are coming. Si Mohammed Makhouki, ahlan wa sahlan, my friend. Dua and Duha, thank you for your greetings. That shows how kind you are. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Si Yasin El Haddadi. 20 people are watching us here, but only 18 people. Two of you have not hit the like button, but that does not change anything anyway. Okay, so let's read this essay, this introduction by our friend Si Hamza. because maybe okay we will. I don't know whether we have read your essay Hamza, yesterday, but in any case, maybe in light of our feedback yesterday, we can discuss. Maybe we can read this essay and comment on it. Okay, the introduction goes as follows. This essay argues that today's youth devotes much of their time to screen-based activities, which affects both their physical and mental development. Si Hamza, is this an introduction or is this a thesis statement? Si Hamza, tell us please so we can know what to evaluate. I would love to see your comment, please, on or your reaction to my question. Is this do you consider this an introduction, or do you consider this a thesis statement? Okay. Never mind. I think there is some delay. Anyway, if it's a thesis statement, it's just a thesis statement. Okay, let's go back to it, please. Hamza says, this essay argues that today's youth devotes much of their time to screen-based activities at the expense of movement-based activities, which affects both their physical and mental development. My first impression of this thesis statement is that it does reflect the question. So the key criterion of the thesis statement is satisfied here. Very good. Is this sentence self-contained? Yes, it is self-contained. Has the author here tried to lump all the necessary information in one sentence? Yes, he has had the capacity to do that, and he has done it in a very nice way. Do I have any reservation on this sentence? Yes, I do. Okay, maybe this is something that you need to take into account. While there is nothing wrong in writing it this way, I repeat, while there is nothing to blame you for in regard to this sentence, I would suggest, it's more of a preference, that you avoid this essay argues, because you will end up verbose, and we need to avoid verbosity in writing. Just especially in a thesis statement, which has to have this characteristic of being parsimonious. Parsimonious means stating the maximum amount of information in the minimum number of words. So one way of doing this, of achieving this, is to avoid writing this essay or in the following paragraphs. I will argue, not really. So it's better to say something like, I firmly believe. This way you even have a chance to impose your point of view. But that remains just something to be put between brackets. Different people would prefer different ways of introducing the thesis statement. It's just a personal preference. For the sentence, and my friends here will no doubt agree with me, because this is very clear, this is very straightforward. I would say that this is a very good and a very well written thesis statement. Let me see if there are comments in here on the thesis statement. The text, Zohor, the text is pasted. It's not a text, it's a paragraph by Si Hamza I'azza. Okay, just look a few comments before and you will see the text. Hello, Si Ahmed Haween. Athena, hello Athena, hello Sir Uthman. Thank you very much, my friends. Okay. So, do you have any paragraphs to paste here or thesis statements in light of what we discussed yesterday? This way we can maybe have more feedback. Okay, most welcome, Si Hamza, most welcome. Barakallahu fik, Si Yasin. Thank you, everyone. Nuni Nunus, I don't know why when Nunu Nunus's name pops up, I immediately think of that famous comment by that student from Marrakesh. Anyway, welcome Nunu Nunus. Si Jamal, ahlan wa sahlan. Marhaba bik, Si Jamal. Marhaba bil jami'. Alors, let me see if there are. So feel free to paste your paragraphs or your thesis statements. You feel free. This is a space just for that. So if you have made an attempt to write something and you wanted me or our friends here to check this will be the appropriate time to do so. Otherwise, we will move directly to the argumentative essay. Before I delve into the details of the argumentative essay, I would like to serve notice at the very beginning that what applies to the argumentative essay will not necessarily apply to the other types of essays. For example, I will have occasion to mention and to stress the fact that argumentative writing has to be two-sided. Of course, this cannot apply to a narrative essay or to a descriptive or to an expository essay. Other things being equal, we have this point that that makes argumentative writing diverge somewhat from other types of writing. But when it comes to the thesis statement and to the overall organization of paragraphs, the structure is practically the same. The exception, perhaps, is argumentative writing, where we have to be, two-sided, and it's here where we are going to talk about two-sidedness. Nihad Oghlu, sir, how to enhance my writing skills. I don't know if you are a BA degree holder, Nihad. If you think that you have problems in writing, then of course there will be a remedy. It's not too late, even if you intend to take part in near future, maybe entrance exams. Of course, you can do that without any problem, provided that you start working on your writing as of now. Now, one thing you can do, assuming that you are a BA degree holder, unless you show, you show us, you prove my assumption wrong. Anyway, as I said, assuming you are a BA degree holder, one thing you can do is to try to revisit what you did in composition, and you need to try to have someone. This is an answer that I often give, because I'm often asked. This is a question that recurs most often. So you probably, who is the lady who said that? I forgot. That's Nihad. Nihad, you definitely need to look for someone to give you feedback. I am sure you have classmates, or people in higher levels or at higher levels, or that there are people who master writing more than you do. Sometimes it's just a feeling, but anyway, if you feel, you can write to someone who will look at what you have written and give you feedback, because feedback is the key to improving your academic writing. So you have two elements in here: feedback and exercising. Keep writing and keep receiving feedback. You will do miracles towards the end. Simonir, as I said, it may be good. I think I greeted you back. Siabdullah Azul Siabdullah, thank you very much. Yasin, does an argumentative essay usually consist of 5 paragraphs? Now, for the number of paragraphs, this will depend on a number of things. If you have clear instructions in the question that it should not be below 5 paragraphs, apart from the introduction and the conclusion, of course you will write an essay accordingly. But if you have an amount of time that does not allow you to write 5 paragraphs, then of course maybe the minimum is introduction, 2 paragraphs, conclusion. That's the strict minimum. Okay. Again, this is not an on-off thing. This will depend on the exam question. Just in case you have doubts, you may ask the people there, the ones invigilating you, or the people responsible, should this essay necessarily consist of 5 paragraphs, or if they say as much as you can, then of course you work it out depending on the time. Because I'd rather see, that's what I tell my students, I'd rather see someone producing an introduction, conclusion, plus 2 paragraphs, all well written and submitting to the rules of essay writing. I'd rather see something like this than to see 5 paragraphs that are jumbled and garbled and turned upside down and unfinished, of course. You see, so that's the point. That's the things. But thank you for asking that very important question, my dear friend. Let me move on to see Ashraf. Si Ashraf is writing, no one can deny that today's generation is largely devoted to gaming, chatting, and endlessly scrolling on social media. I strongly believe that while our digitalized world has indeed made life easier, I think there is a continuation. Future well being. No, Ashraf, this is not complete, unfortunately. C'est pas complet, malheureusement. C'est pas. Would you? I have first year master students. No worries, Nihad. You will catch up. You will make up for what you have lost. But do what I have asked you to do. Choose a classmate in your class, or a second year student since you are a first year, or doctoral student, people that you know. Okay, you start with the paragraph level, write a paragraph, and have the people that you may have in mind read your work and give you feedback, and do it again and again until you automatize the skill, and then of course you will not have a problem in this regard. C'est Ashraf, malheureusement, I don't know what the remainder of this paragraph is, but I can already judge you, my dear friend, on the very, abrupt transition from the first sentence, and then you jump to what looks like a thesis statement. So no one can deny that today's generation is largely devoted to gaming, chatting, and endlessly scrolling. Very good. And then all of a sudden you are on the or in the thesis statement. Of course, an introduction should not be written this way. You need, of course, a first sentence. Perhaps, even before this, no one can deny that. You can write something even more general, and then this sentence, and then a more specific sentence, and then your thesis statement. Writing, I always warn my students at the level of S3 that they should avoid these types of introduction. It's not that you have a long sentence that your introduction is a successful one. Not at all, my dear friends. So understand that the first thing that you have to worry about, as I keep saying, is your thesis statement, and then you have to build on it, not just by means of one sentence. That's not at all. That's not good. Not even two sentences before. So at least three, four. You see. That way you give it the form of a paragraph. You make it look like a real paragraph. Okay, my friends, Ashraf, I wish I could see the other half so that I can complete my evaluation of what you have written. Is it just future well-being? Wait a minute. So you said, I strongly believe that while our digitalized world has indeed made life easier, and then you have future well-being. I think there is something missing, my dear friend. Okay, Rama Muha says, could you please suggest some books or references for self-study that are useful to experience to enhance academic writing? I don't know if Si Mustafa Murshid is still with us here, or he has gone to run an errand and come back. But in any case, there is this book called Academic Writing, a very good one, of course, that can help you. You're talking about self-study, by someone called something Olshima. Okay. And I think you can find the PDF version on the net, but and you have a pre-intermediate and advanced version, which is a very good thing. You can start with the lower, level, and then you move on to the other level. Of course, there have been a number of editions of the book, which is testimony to the success of its content. Okay, my friend, thank you. So Siasin is saying, sometimes when I am writing an essay, it feels like I am running out of words, or I'm just repeating what has been said. What solution, dear professor? A very good question as well. So the fact that you are asking these questions shows how serious you are in deciding to improve your writing. And by the way, this is not too late. And of course, you will improve your writing. You will achieve what you were not dreaming to achieve as writers. Okay, so your writing will develop beyond belief. Now, what to do in this regard? Yes, of course, there is no writer who does not feel that he is, running out of words. How can you remedy this state of affairs? Believe it or not, my dear friend, if you force yourself to write every day, at least once. When I say at least once, means you can write 10 paragraphs a day. You can sit down, you have to sit down, you have to time yourself, and then you have to squeeze your mind so that you can write. And when you write, this is very important. Again, these comments, there's some overlap in these reactions, but so when you write again, you need this feedback from people. Why? Because when you run out of words, you may adopt what we refer to as avoidance strategy. For example, I can't find a word. I have to change the strategy. Maybe express an idea closer to this one in different words. That's one way of doing this. And for repeating what you have said, I think there is a cause for that. There is a reason for that. You know the people who repeat what they say. You know why. It's because they do not master the structure, because it's like an algorithm. You will not repeat ideas if you have a very good plan. If you write without a plan, you will be redundant. You will find yourself repeating, the same thing over and over and over. But if you have a clear plan, and this is, by the way, the objective of today's meeting is to talk to you about the structure of an argumentative essay. If you do not apply it the way it is, of course, you will end up repeating. You see? Yeah, because there are people who, if you don't have this structure, this schemata, then he say, if you don't have it in mind, how can you have it in mind? Is it by learning? No, it's of course by listening to people like me, like the other friends, talking about that, like what your professors told you, etc. But you cannot have it stuck here if you do not apply it. Application is the key. You want to improve your writing? Yes, application. Apply what you have. Writing will never develop through theoretical knowledge. Never, ever. Never, ever. Okay? So learn, you have to develop this awareness and this automaticity, about the structure when you say. Believe me, you will not repeat any idea whatsoever. All right? See, Yasin, and this is really nice. This is a very good question. It takes a lot of courage to ask this question. Thank you very much. Okay, you have the same problem, so that's also a message to Si Hamza. All right, تنمية نهاد أكيد يسرح ربي قنديتيني أكيد يسرح ربي. Je sais pas نهاد واش you speak تشلحيت or تمازيغت or none of the above. Okay, neither. Oh, sorry, تمازيغت تشلحيت. Neither of the above. Top Moroccan clips. Are you a professor in the University of Sais, Fez? No, I do have friends there. Very nice people. So that's why I am attached. And on occasions I go there. Unfortunately, I have been to Fez for academic activities, for recruitment, but not for English, but for Amazigh. Okay, where there's an activity on Amazigh, I just go and I am called upon by the university for that. All right. Top Moroccan clips, thank you. Ashraf Bihmidi, thank you. Zora Tik, the best professor ever. Thank you very much. I think this is Usada Zahra. Thank you very much, Zahra. Allah yakhtik. Barakallahu fik. See, Ashraf, it was posted the wrong order, sadly. Oh, all right, Ashraf. All right. I don't know if you can repost it in the correct order so that we can have maybe modify, our or comment, on it. Writing academic English, Alice Oshima. That's very good. Thank you, Athena. Athena is yes. Writing academic. I said academic writing, but there is the word academic. There is the word writing. So that's exactly the word, the one. It's by Oshima. That's the one. Thank you very much, Athena. That's the one. Yes, it's called a writer's block, and that's quite normal. And even one of the postmodernists, so post-structuralists, was it Michel Foucault, Jacques Derrida, one of them, Roland Barthes, I think one of them, talked about the horror of the white page. So beginnings are always difficult, but make sure that when you have this habit. But by the way, when you get to exercise yourself in writing, don't do that just on texts that are academic. That's for structure. but some free writing will do, for the flow and for finding words. Try to express yourself. عبر يا صاحبي عن المشاعر شي شوية. Right, a long time ago there is this very good habit, and you guys, you're not lucky enough. You're not lucky enough because you do not enjoy what we used to enjoy. Those beautiful letters that come to you, or that you write yourself, and you try to produce as many metaphors as possible, and you try to have those introductions. This way, this has helped a lot, or this helps a lot. Okay, especially that you write by hand and you have a sticker there, you stick stuff, like you send the letter. Okay, we used to have this habit in my generation, I mean. Okay, never mind. أهلا أسماء نرجس, أهلا وسهلا. Thank you for joining us. Merci beaucoup. C'est Issam. Evening, Professor. Good evening, my dear friend. Si Jamal says, no one can deny that televisions, social networks, and computer games are spreading rapidly around the world. Today's generation spends too much time on them and very little on physical. لا نشوف جمال on physical جمال ولو. So on physical what? And by the way, is the set that starts from today's generation, etc. To the end. Do you take it to be the beginning of a thesis statement? If yes, then there is a little issue. Language-wise, there is no problem, but an introduction that has a long sentence and then you have a thesis statement. Of course, that does not qualify as a good introduction, despite the fact that the language is there, but the structure is not there. Because that's something. You don't have this idea of a funnel. Just imagine a funnel there. Just imagine a funnel where you have that tube and you have just some little thing there. No, a funnel has to be, there needs to be some smoothness in the transition, all right? Thank you, my friends. Well, I think it's all about practice. Absolutely, my dear friend. Yes. Abdullah, indeed, that's true. That's true. But it's not a joke, my friends, when we talk about practice. Anything that you set out to learn, practice. Language is like going to the gym. I repeat that for nth time. Okay? That's why you want strong muscles, you have to work them out. Can you develop strong muscles just by looking at people at the gym? No. You have to do it yourself. Will you succeed on day one? No, you will not succeed day one. Will you develop muscles comfortably? No, you will not develop muscles comfortably. Will you develop muscles after some time, after patience, after working? Yes, you will. Will you develop strong muscles? Yes, you will. وكذلك writing. Selina. Okay, dear friends. Anyway, thank you very much. نهاد ولو تمازيغ of the middle atlas. مرحبا يسون. مرحبا دي نغورونا. Okay, تنمير تنم نهاد تنمير. Okay, nice. كيري حيدوس ما حيدوس غوروني لان. يسنا واحد مرير، نا واحد ديال خنيفرة ولا ديال نا واحد بالميمة. What? Tell me please so I can know about the specific place. All right, thank you. Say Arwin Ahmed, I studied syntax with you, professor in S4. Was it by any chance introduction to linguistics rather than syntax? And if it was called syntax, then of course it must have been S5 rather than S4. Say Ahmed. But thank you. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I'm proud of you. Si Ahmed, thank you. Okay, Si Yassine says, speaking of which, dear professor, do we say Tamazight language or Amazigh language, and what is the difference? Are they the same? Well, of course, let me answer you the official way. Now, officially, you have the word Amazigh and you have the word Tamazight. Tamazight is a variety of the Amazigh language. In Amazigh, of course, it's the total, it's the language. You have a number of varieties. Okay, you have Terifit, of which I am a native speaker. You have Tamazight, the Middle Atlas, and then you have Tashlihit, that's the south. That's in Sus area, right? And down to Aitwa Amran, down to, you see, Aitwa Amran, or the region of Gulmim, etc. So these are speakers of the Tashhid variety. But when you want to talk about languages like French, English, Arabic, Amazigh, okay? C'est la langue Amazigh, c'est pas la langue Tamazight. It's the Amazigh language, not the Tamazight language. There are some people who reject this appellation, but this is non-official, by the way. You see, so officially it's the Amazigh language. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much. All right, thank you. Okay, Serisan says, visit us back again at Meknes School Arts. Inshallah, Serisan. I don't know if you were there when I delivered that presentation on multilingual classrooms and medium of instruction. Okay, that was a very good experience. I remember, although I had slept only for 1.5 hours because I was lodged in a hotel where there was a lot of noise, etc. Anyway, that was a good experience with you guys. It was just amazing. Okay, Isam, visit us. Okay, thank you. So that was an answer to you. Amazigh language, because Tamazight is the location. Tamazight refers to one variety of Amazigh which is spoken in the Middle Atlas. Okay, try to learn one of them. If you are native speakers in Moroccan Arabic and you do not know any variety of Amazigh, try to learn at least one basic knowledge. I mean, just an opening to one of them. Very interesting. Okay, I speak the three. Okay, very good. Si Abdullah, Tamazight is a variety in Amazigh language. Hamza, thank you, Si Abdullah. That confirms what I said. Said hi, Ahlan Asma B, Ahlan wa sahlan. Thank you for joining us. Just like the muscles grow through repeated exercise. Exactly. That's the point. That's exactly the analogy I often give when I want to allude to the fact that exercising can make you achieve the maximum of what you can achieve, right? Thank you, HUC. Oh, that's Bulman region, a very beautiful place. HUC, is it? There is a place called Skura and Gigu and Almis and all. Correct me if I am wrong, but the way goes up to Tat al-Hajj and to Marmosha and all those that region. A very beautiful place indeed. In winter, it snows a lot in there. All right, we studied syntax in S5. That's true, Nuni Nunus. That's true. It was a very good experience with your class, I remember. Wow, great syntacticians were born. Okay, thank you. Asma, Amazigh refers to the people. Oh yeah, we can say the Amazigh or the Amazigh people. That's true as well. All right. Ahlan wa sahlan, Asma. Asma, you have been absent for quite some time, and you have to pay a fine in this regard. Anyway, thank you very much, Asma, because I said this because you were one of the fans of the YouTube channel, and you would show your presence every time there was a live session. Welcome back. Thank you very much. Sarah Raho, greetings, sir. Could you please tell me what's the topic? The topic, Sarah, is the structure of the argumentative essays, and we have some digressions on occasions because we are in a friendly environment. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us. Terudent, you are in Terudent, Siyasin. Alors, Terudent, are you in the center of Terudent? Tell me, please. Or in the periphery? Is it ولاد تيمة 44 and I think Sidi Bou Affaf, I think something like that, or the other area like Aoulouz and Walad Barhil and all of those, or is it in the center? Because I believe I know the area as well. Thank you very much, my friend. Marabih Al-Hadi, hello, my dear friend. Ashraf, I'm from Walad Ali Yusuf, near Utat al-Hajj. All right. Yeah, Utat al-Hajj, I visited the place on many occasions on my way to Midelt. So it gets very hot there in summer. Anyway, I have known very nice people from there, so you are welcome, Si Ashraf. Marhaba bik. Thank you. Si Abdul Wali, I conducted my monograph on analyzing metaphor on Amazigh poetry Israel. This is really interesting, Silwali. And by the way, we have someone who is a specialist in Arabic, in Balagha, in these, in rhetorics, by the name of Ustad Dr. Luwali. He is now on retirement and he was based in Fes. So if you could read in Arabic, and he worked on Terifit, okay, and maybe on other varieties of Amazigh, I think. I think Amazigh is standard. No, 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 not that's not Munir. That's not the name given. C'est la langue Amazigh, the Amazigh language. We're talking from from official, even in the constitution, c'est l'Amazigh. In the translation, that should be Amazigh as well. Okay, Ulad Barhil, dear professor, you heard of it. Yes, that's true. So you are from Ulad Barhil, I guess. Except that Ulad Barhil are mostly Arabophones. Correct me if I am wrong. Nihad, you are welcome in my region. مرحبا تنميرت نهاد بارك الله فيك. Thank you so much. إن شاء الله بارك الله فيك. Fatin, I'm from Bni Millal. أهلا Fatin. Yeah, Bni Millal. I visited Bni Millal around 3 times. My most recent visit was in late, or I think it was late June or early July for a thesis defense at that beautiful faculty of letters, Moulay Slimane University. Okay, Fatin, and I know most of the professors there. Most of them are my friends, by the way, and I just like the place. And but the city is extremely hot. I have never seen the heat that I experienced in Bilal. Okay, never mind, Fatin. Thank you very much. Sarah, thank you. Natalie, I know Tajlid, but due to language attrition, I have forgotten much of it. Grammar, although I still remember. Now, if I think your parents, moved, if it's your parents or grandparents, Nathalie Leblanc, then I am sure, so it's inevitable for you to undergo what we refer to as language attrition. But there is always room for you to get it back, in one way or another. I know many people who grew up pure native speakers of Moroccan Arabic, but they ended up learning their ancestral variety, which is Amazigh. You are from Gersif. Gersif. I think you have souk on Wednesday, I guess, and you are known for olive oil and for olives and for pomegranate, rumman, and you have a mosin there for that, and you have a place called Shwibir, which is somehow isolated, not in the city center. This is what I can tell about the city of Gersif, and it has been enlarged recently. This is really nice. Okay, English class, thank you very much for joining, and it's good that you have shared your location. Isam, I was part of the organizing committee when you delivered the a mesmerizing lecture on multicultural education pedagogical practices, sir. Oh, thank you, Si Ben Abdullah. Yeah, it was a success. And you did an amazing job. And I heard many good things about the people who were involved in the organizing of the event from your professors. Shahadat Haq. Okay. You are Bni Warain. Yeah, Bni Warain is not. So Gersif, you are from Dibdu, I guess, or from the other region near Ribat al Khair and Zarda and Al-Bhali, je pense. So tell me. Okay, Yunus Afkar, I'm Amazigh from Khnifra, but parents live in Mrit and Khnifra, you have the same dialect there, same Ahidus. J'adore. I just love their Ahidus and the one in the wedding parties. Really, really, really amazing. And I visited Khnifra on many occasions because at one point in time I was a teacher trainer of primary school. Amazigh teacher trainer, and it was a very good experience. And I even visited the inspectors there. Took me for a visit to late Muhammad Rumish Allah yarhamu, and he offered us, a very good dinner. It was very generous, and all right, so. And I even visited Muhammad Zayani, if you know him, from Raqba Beyond in Aizarunait Lahsan. And it was the first time I see this, because I used to see these artists, and I for some time I was thinking that it would never occur to me to see them. So finally I met them, and I keep very good memories of these nice people. All right, a lot of generosity, a lot of they're very friendly people. They're very generous. So these are very good memories. Also from Rift, of course. You see, I met so many people from there. Right? Hello, my dear friend, Alone 12. Asma said hi. Thank you, Asma. Again, Isam concerning Tamazight language, they're planning to unify all the varieties in one language called Tifina. No, no, that's not true. Please correct this, my friend Isam. The unification is not Tifina. Tifina is just the script. The script. Tifina, comes from Tifi, from the word F, which means find. Yufat means he found it. Yufit, interifit. And na means nach. So it's like our discovery. All right. So the Tifina script is the official script for the Amazigh language. But the language is not called Tifina. The language is called Amazigh or Standard Amazigh, l'Amazigh Standard, Al-Amazigh al-Mumayyara. Tifina is just a script. It does not refer. There are many people who make this mistake. Can you translate this into Tifina? No, that's not. It's a misnomer. You cannot say Tifina is not a language after all. Okay, my dear friends. Okay, see, Yassine says, not really. There are Arabic people though. But most people speak Amazigh language. Welcome to Lad Barhil. Whenever you come, dear professor. And you have Tiyut, placed there by the name of Tiyut. Yeah, because I know the area. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know you are known for Argan. Oh yeah, you used to be. Okay, but the area is still known for that. Thank you very much, Yassine. Really kind of you. Originally from Tahla, you are from Tahla. So I told you it's Tahla, Zrarda, Ribat al-Khair. These are neighboring, cities. Mariam Al-Hamri says, thank you. Thanks, sir, for all your efforts. We really appreciate what you are doing. You are offering for free what other teachers are selling. أعوذ بالله أن أكون من sellers of information. لا يخطيك. No, there is this, there are people, very legitimate. If people want to work at the private sector, they are entitled to that. See? And of course, selling the courses is also good. باش ما نكذبش عليك. بالحق, selling to their own students هذه catastrophic. Okay, it will never happen in my case, and in the case also of my colleagues. I know them very well. If there is a free thing that we can give like that, that's fine. But if it's within, people generally teach, also in the private. I no longer do that, by the way, but there is nothing wrong in doing it. What is wrong is when you come to hold these live sessions and you hear within earshot that Amros, for example, where does he find the time to do that? وانت where do you find the time باش تمشي تدوز النهار ديالك وحتى الليل وربما وحتى هذا في لي بريفي الايفنينغ كلاسز حتى ل 10 الليل حتى راه بحال sauf que انت كتخلص انا هكا كنخلص. Okay, that's the thing. So I have to put so thank you for that مريم. سي عماد يا سي زنزوني لا يعلى عليه زعما في الاخلاق ديالو في لا كومبيتونس ما شاء الله. He's a very nice person and he's a very good friend of mine. سي عبد الله, professor, which is more academic writing in Tamazight, Latin or Tifina? Well, this is a question that is not easy to answer. That's number one. And if we follow the nature of things, then of course Arabic is written in Arabic, different Chinese in Chinese. So Tamazight or Amazigh has to be written in Tifina. One of the advantages of Tifina is that it's one of the simplest, if not, I dare say, the simplest writing system ever, because there is a perfect or almost perfect grapheme to phoneme correspondence. If you say oo, it's oo, whatever. If you say ah, it's ah. If you say m, it's m. Let's compare this with Arabic. I'm not saying Arabic is no. Arabic is rich. ولكن الميم خصك تعلم الميم في الأخير. الميم ديال الوسط كيفاش كيتكتب. الهمزة فوق هذه الهمزة هنايا it's difficult. Arabic is really difficult. غير حنا تعلمناها وهذا أصحاب لينا سهلة. It's not easy at all. You see, but Arabic is rich and it's a very nice language. It's you see, for Tifina writing in the Tifina script guarantees that there is a perfect. What you hear is exactly what you write, which means that you can learn the Tifina script in half an hour, and if you know the one variety, you will be able to write down anything you would like to write. Okay, very nice. That's a very good question. But the question, of course, is broader than this because there are people who maintain that if Amazigh had been or were written in Latin or in Arabic, more people would learn it, would be able to learn it. But now they see that script and they express some sort of fear that it looks like Chinese, it looks like it's difficult to learn, etc. That's the point. Okay, nice. Let's continue, please. As you can see, we started with the discussion of an essay, and we have digressed, but this is a good digression because we are here, to exchange as many ideas as possible, and any bit or piece of information you get into your mind, it will come in handy. It will come in handy one day. All right, Beni Orain, yes, thank you. Thank you, my dear friend. Thank you. Thank you, Stawi Asma, the alphabet. Yes, of course. I'm Yasin. So Yasin Haddadi, I'm Yasin's friend. My greetings to you and may Allah bless you. I'm willing to pass an English online interview. Inshallah, inshallah. See Yasin, I wish you all the best, my friend. Good luck to you. So you should say, I am willing to take the interview or to go for an interview, sit for an interview, but not to pass. But this is good. C'est ce qu'on appelle un lapsus en français. So to pass, inshallah, you will pass, because pass means succeed. Hamza, in which university do you teach, sir? If no, I can tell you. So it's at Muhammad V University. Mr. Universe said, hi, thank you very much. We took a tour of Morocco. Yes, we did Athena, but we have to end up in Athens. That's why you call yourself Athena, right? Okay, tell us, please, if there is anything you can tell us, please. No, of course not. It's not wrong following the saying, if you are good at something, never do it for free. Okay, but doing it for free is rare and generous, especially if it's from someone who is proficient. Thank you very much, Miriam, for this amazing comment and this encouraging comment and motivating comment. Barakallahu fiqh. That comes from the heart, I'm sure. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you. Okay, dear friends, can we move on to the discussion of the structure of an argumentative essay? Yalla, let's talk about that. As recently as yesterday, we had occasion to talk about the key points in the in an introduction, which is the thesis statement. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, when you see an exam question asking you to produce an essay, then your first worry should be the drafting of a thesis statement. Not just the drafting, the revising. It has to be a clear and straightforward and autonomous thesis statement that reflects perfectly, what you have been asked to do. Just read the question carefully and check what is required of you. We saw yesterday beautifully written thesis statements, but unfortunately thesis statements that have gone somehow astray because they have addressed either one issue there or they have moved away altogether, thinking that they are sticking to the topic. No, they are not sticking to the topic. The area, yes, they are sticking to the, but not the topic. You see? So we finished our discussion of the thesis statement. Now what's next? Okay, remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we are talking here about argumentative writing. I repeat, here we are talking about argumentative writing. Question: should a narrative essay have the same shape of the introduction, the same introduction as argumentative? Answer: yes. Should a descriptive essay have the same introduction, shape of the introduction? Yes. So this applies to all sorts of writing. But what singles out argumentative writing is the notion of two-sidedness. Two-sidedness. Here, I have come over to talk to you specifically about this notion of two-sidedness, and it's a pity that so many people, so many students do not remember this. Don't remember this. I don't know. They just write paragraph after paragraph supporting the thesis statement, which is good. But of course, they are missing in this very important point. After all, they did not say just essay. They said argumentative essay, and it was said like that for a reason. Why? Because part of being argumentative and essay, among other things, of course, has to be two-sided. What does it mean? Now, just imagine I want to convince you of something which is better. Which is better. For example, you believe that this phone, this device, is of a very poor quality. And I believe that this device is of a very high quality. Fine? Which is better? To come and tell you this device is of a very high quality, thereby making your claim wrong. That's one way of saying it. But a better way of saying it, a more academic, a more formal, a more polite, a more logical way of saying it is to say, this phone may have some features that make of it a low quality phone, but if we consider its most fundamental features, it stands out as being the perfect phone. هذه هي two-sidedness. Two-sidedness means you take the opinion, the opposing opinion, because if you say that I believe, for example, that I don't know, that the present generation is is busy with are inactive because of the time they spend on social media, and you continue along the same line. No, that's not true. That's not true. It means that's not a good enough argumentative essay. A good argumentative essay is to say, for example, in the first paragraph, and I'll come to this in a moment, is to say in your essay, in a part of your essay, you have to say the present generation, yes, of course, is an active generation because they play football, because they walk, because they play in the yard, because they go to the gym, they go swimming, etc. For example, in winter, you see all the beaches and you see everyone rushing to the beach because they want to swim, to move, etc. That's one way of arguing. You got the point or no? So, and then you will come to a point where you say, despite the fact that there are some instances where people move, where this young generation moves, they remain very passive, and then you can provide your own arguments why they are more passive than the previous generation. For example, by saying that the previous generation, many people were living in the countryside, and they had to wake up at dawn and help their parents in the field, and so that was a lot of physical movement, which is true, by the way. So I hope you understand me here. So what is the solution here? How can we apply this to our argumentative essay? Can I tell you very directly, very briefly, and very directly? Let's call a spade a spade. Life is already complicated, so let's not complicate it. Let me, this is what I invented in favor of my students in class, and many of them finally produced very good essays. Okay, let's imagine that we are four. In our thesis statement, we express the idea that we are for something. For example, we agree, imagine we write in our thesis statement that we agree with the idea that the present day generation are lazy. I said lazy because we want to make it short. Of course, I should reflect the question. But just imagine the question says, do you believe that the present generation are lazy? Just imagine that our topic is the present generation, all right? The present generation or present day generation are lazy. I read the topic and I say yes. Okay, so in my thesis statement, I should express the idea that I am for So you say indeed, or according to me, the present or present day generations or the present day generation is lazy. Okay, that's just an example, MBBS aspirant. Okay, so just imagine I write this. Just imagine I write this at the level of the thesis statement. After the introduction, I have paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and possibly paragraph 3. Okay? Now, paragraph 1, my friends, are you listening? Paragraph 1 should necessarily express the opposite opinion, and this is what we call the two-sidedness requirement. It's like refuting an idea, and when you refute an idea, you refute an idea means you say, well, you are right, Ajilana, you are right, it's true, etc., etc., and then you move to the next paragraph where you support your thesis statement. Okay? Thank you. That's true, Saad Nabi, I agree with you. Anji والهدش, I agree with you. دابا حنا we are done with the introduction and with the thesis statement. We know what it is. Now I am in paragraph 1. Paragraph 1, شوف, if the thesis statement says yes, paragraph 1 should say no. Paragraph 2 should say yes, paragraph 3 should say yes. If the thesis statement say no, paragraph 1 has to say yes. And then you come back to the no's in the next paragraph. Please show me that you have understood what I have just told you. Show it to me. Say yes or anything. Or type 1 as many streamers would say. Okay. Tell me if you have understood this. Yes, yes, Natalie and Ahmed. Zaid, very good, very good. Mizian, very nice, my friends. Ah, perfect. Now let me add something, my friends. Let me add something to this. Now, imagine I say, yes, I will repeat, Ahmed. Let's imagine that the question that we are given on the day of the exam is, do you agree that the present day generation are lazy? Let's imagine that you say, yes, they are lazy. Your point of view, which is yes, they are lazy, has to be expressed clearly in the thesis statement. We talked about this yesterday. Okay? Now, after you are done with the introduction, paragraph 1 comes. Okay? In paragraph 1, because in your thesis statement you say, yes, I agree that the present day generation is lazy, in paragraph 1 you should say, well, there are many arguments revealing that the present generation are not lazy. هذا ماشي تناقض، هذا c'est une préparation باش نعطيو les arguments ديالنا في الباراغراف qui suivent. Donc le premier paragraphe دائما il faut qu'il soit réservé the opposite opinion. You might soften it by saying there are so many people who believe that present generation are not lazy. Their argument is that blah, 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 and you have a paragraph there. And then you move to the other paragraph, despite the fact that the present day generation seems to be somehow active, comma, it's not at all the case. That will be your, for example, topic sentence for paragraph 2. Do you understand me, my friends, or not? Okay. Asma, قلتي no. No for what, my friend? Tell me, what if we put the contrasted argument in the last paragraph instead? No, that's not really, that's not a very good pattern at all. That's not a good pattern at all. So you have to be two-sided. علاش two-sided? Because even in when we consider the structure of an essay, the rule is that strong points, more convincing points, come last. Less convincing points come first, which means that the candidate for the first paragraph is the reverse opinion, and it should be a real first paragraph. ماشي just phrase بحال اللي كيديروا لي ناس اخرين. ناس اخرين means some students in in the composition course. Okay, so we're talking about paragraphs here. We're not talking about sentences. Assuming that you know what a topic sentence is. Never ever start a paragraph where you do not state the topic sentence. I think you know these things. If you have problems with this, I can talk about it. So, Si Hamza, no, that's not a good pattern at all. That's what I am doing English with Nizar. That's what I am doing, and you can go to the previous live sessions where I talk about. We even had exams that we were correcting, and of course now we are reacting to an exam question that was given in 2021 or 2019. I don't remember. Very nice. Let's نشوفوا les questions هنايا. Yeah, I usually leave it for the third paragraph. Then the rebuttal. Of course, the rebuttal, yeah, your rebuttal in so بعدين اتفقوا شنو هي first paragraph. راه first paragraph يعني حيدنا الانترودكسيون. انترودكسيون ما كيتسماش first paragraph الله يخليكم. حنا first paragraph يعني في البودي. We're talking about the body here. So the first paragraph of the body should be, because it's the structure of an argument, the best way of doing it is to write something that contrasts with what you say in the thesis statement. And you have an opportunity here to state some of the arguments. Of course, you will use the language that will show that these arguments are weak. And then you will come to the second paragraph of the body, where you bring up your the arguments that you have prepared in support of your thesis statement. I hope you understand. Okay. Nice. Jamal, Natalie, in order to refute, that's true. Okay. Topic, sentence, supporting information, that's absolutely right. For every single paragraph, you have to have that, whatever its nature, unless it's an introduction and a conclusion, then of course, these have a different structure. Hamza says, I'll always put them at the last paragraph. Probably that's one. Okay, and that's presumably the reason why. Do you attend your composition classes, my friend? English with Nizar. Thank you, sir. Okay, my dear friends. All right. Now, could you possibly, can we have, I have come just to tell you just this two-sidedness. The object of today's live, even if it has lasted for 1 hour or so, the objective is just to tell you that in an argumentative essay, we have to be two-sided. We should not forget to reserve some space in the form of a full paragraph for the opposite opinion. And of course, we will have a good reason to refute those ideas in the next paragraphs. Are we clear on this, my dear friends? Can we just have an example? Do you think you can handle an exercise now? So the first paragraph will contain words such as some people argue. The second will include, however, that's true. Oh yeah, that's very good. Especially if the second one does not, apart from however, you need to refer, to make a transition from the first paragraph. However, in spite of the fact that, or despite the arguments above, or whatever. Very good. That's nice, of course. Okay, Fatima says, yes, Loan, should the last sentence of the first paragraph be an opening to the next paragraph? Of course, we have here, we have different ways for establishing what we refer to as transitions. Transitions are very important in writing, of course. So here we have a choice. Either the last sentence of a paragraph has to predict maybe what the next paragraph will be about, that's a transition, or the first sentence of the next paragraph has to refer, to include a reminder of the previous paragraph. Usually, of course, at the end of the paragraph, you can say, however, there are more advantages. This does not have just advantages, but also have disadvantages, and then you come to disadvantages. I'm just giving you an example. I'm not saying that you will write it this way in a paragraph, in an argumentative essay, but of course these transitions are highly desirable in writing. Okay, very nice. I hope you understand. So if you would like us to embark on a very quick exercise, just imagine, ladies and gentlemen, that you are in the course of writing an essay in answer to the following question. Let me tell you, scientific progress has done more bad than good to humanity. I repeat, scientific progress has done more harm than good to humanity. Scientific progress has done more harm than good to humanity. Do you agree? Take some time, my friends. I'll keep chatting anyway, but take some time, my friends, to draft a thesis statement. Imagine you have paragraph one, write its topic sentence. Paragraph two, write its topic sentence. Can you do it now, or do you suggest that you can do it tomorrow? Librito. Yes, that's true, Si Mustafa. I wanted to say something about that because the number of paragraphs, the number of supporting information, sometimes you have some. Hamza, I'll come back to that, please. Allow me to just say something very important that Si Mustafa, I'll just elaborate on that. I always wanted to say something about this. Anyway, for sometimes it just so happens that for a point of view we can have up to 7 or 8 arguments. What should I do in this regard? Should I mention the 7 arguments? The answer is no, we shouldn't actually, because if we mention the 7 arguments, it means you have seven sentences, each argument corresponding to a sentence, 7 elaborations, that makes it 14 sentences. And because for each argument you need a concrete example, you need at least 7 concrete examples. That makes 28 sentences in a paragraph. No. So one thing you can do is to choose 2 or 3 arguments that are elaborated and that are illustrated, and the paragraph that will result, it will be a very good paragraph in all respects. Fatima Salem, scientific progress has done more than good to humanity. مزيان واخا very good. So this is what فوالا يلا نقرا بعدا غير سميتو نقراو غير thesis statements. Okay, very good. Okay, scientific progress has done more harm than good to humanity. Do you agree? واخا فوالا يلا دابا كتبوا لي غير thesis statement. يلا all of you. Yeah, please write a thesis statement. I have to see that right now. Just a thesis statement. Okay, can I ask you, please, write a thesis statement in favor of scientific progress. I repeat, الله يجازيكم بخير واخا بديتو. Write a thesis statement راح خصنا نوحدو باش نعرفوا مزيان لا ستركتور. So write a thesis statement in favor of scientific progress where you say it's good. Write it. يلا ابدعوا. Okay. Okay, so we have Ahmed saying, I strongly disagree with the idea that scientific progress has done more harm than good to humanity. شوفوا l'intelligence. This is very smart. شتي ها اللي قلنا. You go and pick up the question and make it, make of it a thesis statement. Easy. Voilà, سي أحمد درنا very good سي أحمد. Yeah, very good. See, Mustafa Rahmani, can you recommend a good paragraph to review academic writings such as essays and paragraphs? سي مصطفى الرحماني ما جي با بيان سيزي يعني شنو بغيتي واش بغيتي تقول بوك ولا لينا recommend a good paragraph to review academic writing. What does that mean? Is there a mistake? So Dua says scientific progress has brought more advantages than drawbacks to humanity. Very good, very good. So you have done some paraphrasing, but you stuck to what you were asked to do. An excellent thesis statement so far. And سي أحمد وعندنا دعاء. Very good. يلا others please. No. يمكن تعطلوا. Je sais pas pourquoi. Anyway, maybe people are tired, as I am actually. Well. Yes, you want to say a book. There was a book that was suggested. Is it الله يخليكم يا سي مصطفى ما عرفت وقيلة أثينا. سي مصطفى الرحماني is asking for that book. Would you kindly write the title of that book? Very interesting one. Okay, Lone says, I believe that in fact scientific progress has destroyed humanity more than served خصكي اد حيت destroyed served more than served it. This is a very creative sentence. Of course, it needs that D for serve. That's a very good thesis statement. واخ مزيان. Now let me give you. You stop anyway. Don't send anything, please. Now, because we just needed an example. Now, can you write, now that you have written a topic sentence, a thesis statement, can you write the topic sentence for your next paragraph? Now, this is a call on you, ladies and gentlemen, to write, okay, a topic sentence for the next paragraph after the introduction. Can you do that, please? اوكي. سي مصطفى الرحماني غادي نرجع عافاك. انا غادي نرجع نقراو thesis statement ديال English with Nizar. It says sciences have seen significant progress over the years. However, it has brought more advantages than drawbacks. Sinizar, accept these comments from me. Sciences, the S should be capitalized. Don't ignore it. Sciences should be capitalized. Have seen a significant progress. Peut-être this is a translation from Arabic. You should say maybe have witnessed, have witnessed, have brought, I don't know, but not have seen a significant progress, okay, over the years. All right. And then you have comma, and then you have however. لا هادو من الكبائر ديال الرايتي. لا ما يمكنش اخويا تكتب كما تكتب however. في هذه الحاله هذه it's a run-on sentence. You have a clear case of a run-on sentence. And even if you put a full stop, that's not a good thesis statement, because you will end up with however it has brought more advantages. It may not be a good, because you have it's we talked about thesis statement as being self-contained. So one thing you can do is the use of even if. Even if sciences have witnessed significant progress over the years, comma, sciences ماشي science راه عندك it هنا واش they ولا it bon you sort it out. المهم if you use even if here you will salvage the situation. All right, so let me see Mustafa. Now we are reading suggestions for the first paragraph after the introduction. Mustafa Rahmani writes, numerous people claim that scientific progress has raised many concerns. This is excellent. The idea itself is excellent. Why? Because, this goes against, on the face of it, this is maybe a reverse. Another side. That's why we call it two-sided. That's the other face of the coin. So it's good, Mustafa Rahmani, but you have written n for numerous in lowercase, which is a mistake. أنا ما كانت قلتش حاجة هنايا. Claim that side and you forgot the full stop. Fine. I know that's just something that you did not do on purpose, but anyway, you have to be aware of this. Natalie says, I reject the idea that scientific progress has done more harm than good to humanity. I need to stop here at Natalie's sentence. While theoretically there is no harm in writing something like this, but in order not to look contradictory, because you say, I strongly agree, and then you say, I reject, that verges on a contradiction. So you need to soften this. You have to, I know you have the smartness to do that, but you have to soften this somehow by saying, it may be true that, علاش؟ لأن في thesis statement قلت له opposite. You are just refuting. It may be that many people would rightly believe that بحال كتسيري معاهم ذاك الاوبينيون الاخر باش في الاخر next paragraph غتعطي لهم الاتاك تعطي لهم les arguments. You see, so you have to be careful in this regard. We cannot come bluntly, I reject the idea at the time when you say, well, I strongly support. هذاك الابرابت change ما خصوش يكون. It needs to be softened somehow because it's the other people's opinion and you have to be political, somehow politically correct. Okay, Natalie noted. Okay, from my perspective, Fatima says, I would say that scientific progress has evolved positively the human life. Okay, Fatima, I think this is a thesis statement, Fatima Salam, that has reached us late here. Correct me if I am wrong. So, assuming that this is a thesis statement, yes, of course, but there are certain language issues that we need to address here. From my perspective, you need a capital F. I would say that scientific progress has evolved positively the human life. So, has evolved positively the human life, there are 3 mistakes. I repeat, اشوف ما كنحش مش من mistakes ديالي ما عندنا حتى شي مشكل درنا ميستيك وتصحح لينا ياك فاطمه. Okay, so we say progress عندك has evolved positively the human life. 3 mistakes. You can already notice that there is a huge difference between speaking and writing. Okay, mistake number 1 is scientific progress has evolved. Evolved is usually a transitive verb, an intransitive verb. Developed, yes, it can be transitive. This one, evolved, no, we say something has evolved, not I have evolved something. Mistake رقم. Positively, the human life, you have inserted an adverb between what you think is a transitive verb and its complement. Maybe has positively evolved, if evolved were to be true, okay, has positively developed the human life or has developed the human life positively, okay, but not evolved or developed positively the human life. Mistake number 3, it's the human life. We should say just human life. So please rewrite it and send it to us, my dear friend. Thank you, Professor, for your marhaba, English with Nizar, marhaba, my friend. There are several reasons, Ahmed says. There are several studies that have shed light on the harm done by scientific progress, including these arguments 1, 2, 3. Okay, this sentence, Ahmed, should better come after the topic sentence. You see, فاش كندخلوا في studies وهذا خصنا بعدا لو شابو اللي هي topic sentence, and then we go to studies and to make the point first. Soften a point and make it there. You see, scientific progress may be associated, look at this, may be associated with a few harmful consequences or effects. عاد غادي تجي دير there are, this is part of the development, my friend. Okay, the first paragraph, contrasted argument. Okay, very good. شوف حمزة, the first paragraph ما كنقولوش first paragraph. سمحوا لي, I am a little bit harsh here, ولكن that's how we learn, my friends. Yes or no? Okay, I know you would accept this with an open heart. Okay, so the first paragraph, contrasted argument. So many individuals, many, capital M. Many individuals believe that scientific progress has negatively affected humanities. Perfect. معلم. This is very good, Si Hamza. Very nice. On the one hand, Lowell says, some people believe that scientific progress has done multiple benefits for humanity, such as medical treatment and economic improvement. ولكن alone in the thesis statement, we were positive about scientific progress. We said that it's good. Why are you saying it's also good also in the first paragraph? We have to say the opposite, as did Hamza, for example, and the other friends, of course. Fatima Salam, not to deny scientific progress may have some disadvantages, that is to say, no, Fatima Zahra, no. وشنو هذه what Fatima Zahra, write a full sentence, please. Not to deny, you need a capital N, d'abord, scientific progress may have some disadvantages, that is to say. This is a very good example of something you should never write. Okay, disadvantages, full stop, عاد كنديرو, that is to say, comma, and then we continue. But you say, writing everything like that amounts to, so you have incurred a run-on sentence, of course, which should not be the case. my friend. So you say not to deny scientific progress, but even the expression is not. So you have to be direct. Fatima, can you please rewrite it more directly, please? بلا ما نقول, more directly. Okay, I'm sure you will develop and you will write a very beautiful sentence the way you wrote good sentences before, Fatima. Okay, as a thesis statement, I don't remember. I don't اسمح لي Natalie, I don't remember. Scientific progress facilitates individuals' lives in many areas. Ah, Rama, est-ce qu'il s'agit d'une thesis statement ولا je sais pas. ما عرفت رما. الله يخليك قولي شنو لان دابا في هذه لافراز هذه غادي خصنا نكتبوا شي حاجه اللي هي النقيض ديال الثيسي ستيتمنت حيت حنا بصدد كتابه الباراجراف 1 في الارغيومنتاتيف في الارغيومنتاتيف essay. The paragraph that comes after the introduction should better say the opposite. Okay. See Mustafa Rahmani, scientific progress offers innumerable positive sides including medical treatment. هذه داخله هذه thesis statement. هذه thesis statement. علاش؟ لأن we all agreed وحدنا قلنا بلي we will write, we will say that scientific progress is good. صافي, as simple as this. دونك هنا خصنا نضربوا شويه في scientific progress لأن we have to be two-sided. دونك هذاك الشيء اللي كتبته سواء عندي موحى رما وعندي مصطفى هادو غادي يصلحوا الثيسي ستيتمنتس ما يصلحوش الهدف في هذه الحاله ديالنا دابا حاليا. Okay, topic sentence. Many people claim that scientific progress may cause eventual demise of humanity. Athena, very elaborate, very good. Voilà, بحال هكا. Demise is one way of saying death. It can cause an eventual death for humanity or of humanity. Very good. Dua would say, many argue that scientific progress stripped away the sweetness of normal life. Has stripped the sweetness of normal life away. See how you can just to avoid this breaking of the verb. But I love the language there and the idea itself. It's very interesting. Okay, so it stripped them of something. Nathalie Leblanc, despite some positive consequences. Wow, look at Nathalie. Look. Nathalie, هي ريال مدريد اليوم. Okay, despite some positive consequences, the overall impact of scientific progress on human society has been profoundly negative. I like the transition actually. You see, sauf que Nathalie واخا هكاك I have it's still, Lina quand on dit despite some positive consequences راه كتضربي في ثيسي ستيتمنت كاريمون. دابا حنا ماشي خصنا نضربوا في ثيسي ستيتمنت ديالنا، لا نحافظوا على الثيسي ستيتمنت. حنا غنكبروا شي شويه ونقولوا بدي الناس كتقول زعما يس مزيان كاين ديزافونتاج صافي دو بيان الى اخره اون فيت كاينه هذه ولكن ثيسي ستيتمنت ديالنا. ما الا قلناها بهذه الطريقه انا I loved the way you express yourself. لا لونغ رائعه. That's what attracted me first. بالحق بهذه الطريقه باش نجيو من ثيسي ستيتمنت لو بروميير باراغراف لا ترانزيسيون شويه بحال اللي كاين شويه ديال التناقض عاوتاني. ما يمكنش انا نقول scientific progress is good وفي الاخر نقولوا بدي despite the fact that it's good it has. لا، حيت انا خصني نحافظ شويه على line of argument tout en étant زعما not critical supportive of the opposite opinion. je sais pas واش فهمتوني ولا لا. Okay, thank you my friends. Speaking or writing على حساب كل واحد. سي أحمد كاين اللي كيهضر بزاف مع صحابو كيتشاتي كيشوف باس ميديا داك الساعة سبيكين كيكون عنده. راه عندنا الطلبة كيهضروا أحسن منا. الزارتيكول كتلقى الفلو هذا كتجي الرايتين كتلقاه مسكين والو. And there are people who write like books but they are unable to. So على حسب الترينين ديالك فين الجهد فين كان. Logos, pathos, ethos. Okay, Silwali, thank you for These are well known in critical thinking. These terms that date back to antiquity. Fatima said, unfortunately, I haven't written since a long time. شوف Fatima, it's not late, my friend. It's not late. You will surely bring back your the strength of your writing. You just keep motivated and keep at it. Keep doing your best, and you will see the results. ما الإحباط ما خصش تكون عنده بلاصتو عندك. إلا دخل لك إلا تسل لك تسل لك الإحباط، سمحي لي داك الساعة ما ديري والو. أما إلا كنتي motivated to write, you every day write a paragraph and give it to someone you know to read it from the point of your language. كتبي على مواضيع سهلة جدا، وإلا كنت كديري هادشي ديما إن شاء الله غادي يجي تلقاي راسك a very good writer. Okay, no worries please, no worries. إلا دخلتي راسك بلي you are a bad writer ولا because you have it's too late ولا راه ما غديري والو. I'm sure you will become an outstanding writer because I know so many people who started from scratch even if they had a BA. they were كانوا vraiment مستوى، ولكن بفضل الإفاق بفضل العزيمة اللي عندهم راه ولاو des grands. Many of them are university professors by the way. I'm not lying. And they are outstanding university professors. ماشي كنقول لك no, they are outstanding وعن جدارة ساعة and doing great. One of them is my best friend. Okay, one of them is my best friend. Okay, thank you. So unfortunately I haven't written. Okay, thank you, sir. I thought that the thesis statement claims that scientific progress has harmed. Oh no. So now it's good that you remember that. I thought, all right. Munir, scientific progress has increasingly advanced human life positively rather than negatively. So this should apply to the thesis. This is a good example of a thesis statement. Some believe that some believe that scientific progress has done harm to humanity for many reasons. مزيان. هذه الأفخاذ ديال جمال can be a very good sentence for paragraph 1. Okay, Natalie, thesis statement. I reject the idea that scientific progress has done more harm than good. More harm, you reject. It means you are for scientific progress, Natalie. Anas Jafari, thank you. So Mustafa, numerous people claim the positive side of scientific progress. However, this latter لا بديتي رائع سي مصطفى، بلاتي بديتي رائع من بعد صاحبي درتي لنا داك شمس العشيه ياك. لا هذاك هاويفر لا يا اخي، لا سي مصطفى لا عندك خطا. صحوا هاد الاخطاء الله يخليكم. بغيتو ندير لكم درس راه ما فيه لا حشومه لا والو. هادشي واخا تكونوا بي اي ديجري ما عندناش مشكل، حنا وي ار ليرنين. الله يجازيكم بخير. هاد المسائل ديال هاويفر باقي المشكل باقي كاين. دونك خصنا نديرو شي حاجه سميتو نهضروا على how to use these linking words. انا ما عرفت. I am allergic to things like that. كنشوف شي حاجه زعما غير مكتوبه هكا كما however كما therefore بهذه الطريقه هذه كنقولوا بدي حبس. راه the writer of this piece of work probably needs more exercise. You see صافي السي مصطفى الرحماني، هذا عندك، هذا هو الخطا اللي شويه مي بون. لو كان غير وقفتي حتى ساينتيفيك بروغريس دير توقف وتمشي، يعني تدير لي زارغيومون ديالك سو فورم دوطخ فراز. مي تكتب هكا ودير كاما هاويفر نو، هذا خطا شائع باي ذا واي، او خطا فادح. سمحوا لي نقولها لكم، شوي ديزولي، ولكن this is the idea. ان شاء الله please advise our prices. مرحبا لون, thank you so much. سفيان عمو, can you inform us about how a good conclusion should be written? What do I نهضروا عليها probably not in this session. غادي نهضروا عليها. جو سي با واش متبعيني حتى في تيك توك، باسكو تيك توك مع 12 مع 11 ونص كاع في الصباح over my morning coffee I go live وكنهضروا على المسائل. so مرحبا بكم. just join me, your academic company حتى هو. join me and ask me those questions حيت it's an open space and I'm open for these question answers. I can talk about these things without any problems. Okay, my dear friends, thank you. So the conclusion of today's meeting, because I have to stop here, I'm somehow tired, but I have another meeting, probably on TikTok. Huh? So the idea is that in argumentative writing, apart from the thesis statement and the other structure, the other aspects of structure, أهلا سي سعيد أهلا وسهلا. So argumentative writing requires two-sidedness. We should not fail at this. Two-sidedness is necessary. Okay, it means that you have to grant the other opinion its due right, and that after you write your thesis statement, then of course the first paragraph should be politically correct. ما تكونوش هكا. You should not say that. Anyway, sentences like some people believe, it is generally believed, or you can use may. Scientific progress may have some blah 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 blah, and then of course you continue, maybe you provide your strong arguments in the next paragraph. Si Abdullah Louali says, even many people. لا خويا ما نكملش انا هاد الفراز حيت كتبتي even many people. بغيتي تقول even if كتب لي تما even if. انا شويه اكزيجون في هاد المسائل. Even many people see that scientific progress has done a huge contribution to humanity. لا يا أخي لا 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 لا. اسمح لي كاين أخطاء. كاين خطأ السي الوالي هنايا. كاين خطأ السي الوالي. أولا ما كنقولوش even many people. يقول even if يقول شي حاجة أخرى. Donc even if many people. اسمحوا لي ما يبقاش فيكم الحال. Some of you. شتو لي في ديال اللي كيقول لك زعما اللي كيعتمد بزاف على لو بارلي، راه هادو اذا قلتي هاد الشيء للنيتيف سبيكر اسكو il va réagir؟ لا، حيت الميساج باين هنا. واش الميساج باين؟ باين الميساج. واش تكتب هاد الشيء بلغه نقيه انجليزيه نقيه، ولكن اسكو سي دو لونغلي فورميل؟ نو. اوكي، دونك وفي الاخطاء ديال الجمل. يعني اولا even if ما كنقولوش even. Many people see that scientific progress has done a huge contribution. Has done a contribution. Do we say to do a contribution? هذه جوج. To humanity ودرتي full stop. راهي it's half a sentence. حيت قلتي even if اللي هي even هنايا بس even if it's a subordinator. دونك هنا عندي شنو عندي complex sentence. دونك انا غدا ان شاء الله غادي نوجد une liste ديال هاد سميتو linking words ونديرو دي exercices and we will see. Okay. Sufyan, when you start the lives I never come across them in time. سي سفيان lives 10:10:30 الا ما كانش 10:10:30 دونك غادي تمشي للفيسبوك لاباج فيسبوك يور اكاديميك كومباني، تما كندير الاعلانات على اللايف ديالي. مرحبا بالجميع. thank you very much and anyway دونك الكونكلوزيون هي two sidedness. إلا تعطى لكم argumentative essay be two-sided. That's the thing. Okay my friends. إلا بغيتوا عندي اقتراح. الله يخليكم، عندي اقتراح. إلا بغيتوا تكتبوا tout un essay وخا غير 4-5 الناس يكتبوا essay، الله يجازيكم بخير. أنا اقتراح. مرحبا. غادي تكتبوا ان essay غادي تصيفطوه ليا في لاباج يور اكاديميك كومباني، لاباج فيسبوك، وانا غدا ان شاء الله غنحيد السميه وغادي نعرض داك ليساي هنايا امام الجميع ونصحوا ونستافدوا جميعا ان شاء الله. الا بغيتوا مرحبا بكم، لان الفيدباك هو اللي يخلينا زعما نمشيو من نقطه لنقطه اعلى ان شاء الله. دونك اللايف ديال غدا ان شاء الله غادي يكون مع 10 يا 10 الى 10 ونص. دونك انا غادي نعلن في هذا في لاباج فيسبوك. اللي بغى يكتب هول ايساي مرحبا به، تقدروا تكتبوا اللي بغيتوا. كاين اللي يقدر يكتب انتروداكسيون او بروميي باراغراف، كاين اللي يقدر يكتبهم كاملين مرحبا. لا، الموضوع خليو هذا الموضوع ديال scientific progress لانه اتس ا بيت شورت احسن باش سي. دونك فوالا اللي يقدر يكتب مرحبا. اوكي. So thank you very much my dear friends. I wish you good night والله يحفظكم والله يعاونكم واتمنى لكم التوفيق ان شاء الله. Thank you my dear friends. Thank you. صيفطوه any time. انا واخا توصلت به غدا في العشيه ما عنديش مشكل صافي. دونك واخا غدا في العشيه يا با بروبليم. Thank you very much dear friends.